So this is my little
Here's a
nose
little block I made out of a
just
piece of
molded it
scrap
down a
foam
little bit.
using
You
the
can
sanding
This is going to go.
disc behind you. And here is my narrow board that I really like, the rocker line. And here you can see the plastic that I'm going to use for this operation. And there I'm measuring the board, and I measured out 28 inches of plastic. It's 72 inches long. There you can see me testing it to make sure the plastic's going to fit before I even get the glass out. And there's me rolling up the plastic so it's ready to go once I have the board glassed. And now I'm showing you the bottom of the board that's been painted. I want to show you how rough it is, because it doesn't matter, it's all going to be filled with glass and resin. And there you can see 6-ounce glass, and I roll it out on the board, and there's already the first layer, and there's the second layer of glass. So there's going to be 12 ounces of glass on the bottom of this board. There you can see how I've cut it along the edges, and you can see how I keep some distance away from the rack that's underneath. I'm measuring it there to make sure it doesn't interfere when I lap the rails. And there's my cleanup stuff. I use this stuff. You can buy it at Walmart, and I don't use acetone on my hands. This is much better. Doesn't get the epoxy into your system. Otherwise the acetone will bring it right into your system. This is the epoxy I'm using today. It's not the same one I've been using on my previous prototypes, but I have plenty of this stuff. Anyway, so there I am now, laminating the bottom. And the real trick to laminating, folks, doesn't matter how big the board is, you want to work from the center out. Now I'm just flowing the resin out lightly to get it spread out, because another secret is that you need to spread out the resin. The resin won't kick if it's spread out. If it's in the pot and you leave it in the pot, it'll start to cook itself and it'll kick really fast. So you want to get your resin spread out as soon as you can onto the board so that you can work on it. And there you see me adjusting my racks. I built these custom racks a while ago, and they're really nice because I can adjust them to the height where I don't have to stoop so low, especially when I'm lapping the rails, because it's a real pain in the ass if you have to bend over really low to see what you're doing. So here you see me adjusting them. Also, you can see underneath I have masking tape, which is wrapped around the tips there on the racks, and I take the masking tape and I turn it sticky side up and wrap it around there, and that helps to hold the board on the rack while I'm doing this. Now you can see I grabbed a brush. Now back in the olden days, the guys that glassed boards in the 70s and 80s, they would laugh at me for this, but this is my methodology for really getting the rails wetted out. It's really important to get all the cloth nice and saturated. And remember to always work from the center out. Now you can see I'm squeegeeing all the resin out to the rails, always from the center. Otherwise you start to wrinkle the glass. Okay, now I'm wrapping the rails, and I wear one glove, and I'm wearing a mask here since my face is right in the epoxy while I'm doing this. And now I'm putting the plastic that I pre-measured, and I'm rolling it out on there, and I'm stretching it on both sides. Not stretching it, but just getting it to lay flat and try to get out the big bubbles. Alright, and once I've done that, I'm going to get my squeegee. This is really cool because once you have the plastic on top of the epoxy, it's not putting the fumes in your face. And I have a fan going here. I've turned the fan off, as you can see, and I'm lowering it again so I can put some pressure down on the deck to work. You can see some bubbles in the plastic. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go grab the squeegee. I've got a small squeegee now, not the same one I used to put the resin on there. This is a nice fresh squeegee, and it's about 4 inches instead of 6 inches wide. There you see me finishing it up. I've already squeezed out all the bubbles from the center to the outside. And so remember, it's really important to work from the center out. Always keep doing that. And you take your time. The resin has all been spread out on the board, so it's not going to kick. Epoxy is just so much more fun to work with than polyester resin. To any of you that are polyester laminators, you know what I'm talking about. With polyester, you've got about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes before that whole project will kick. And if you haven't got everything saturated and lapped and squeegeed, you've got a nightmare on your hands. You can see me working it. All right, I've already flipped the board over and put it in the rocker jig that I was showing you earlier, and there's my nice tight rails. I'm really happy with this. It's really easy and a lot of fun to do. And so here I'm going to show you how I have that block under the nose. I've got the 10-pound weight there, and I even have some glass that isn't saturated. That's no problem, because there'll be 2 layers of 6-ounce going on the deck of this board. And there it is, folks. It's all been done. Rails are nice and tight. Let's get up to the nose here, and we will see my little block under the nose to give that little hyper kick so I don't be burning the nose. Learn something from that video. It's really fun to use that plastic. Once you get into it, if you're a craftsman or craftswoman, I guess, you will really enjoy that process. And I'm probably not going to use it on the deck, but I'm definitely going to do my bottoms this way now. So I'll see you in the next video.